Whether you like it or not, the 2028 presidential election has begun. The question for the Democrats is, what kind of candidate can win back the White House? While Joe Biden did pretty well back in 2020, the Democratic Party is still the party of Barack Obama. Which raises the question, could Obama have beaten Trump? Let's look at which of the two most important men in American politics would win the battle for the soul of the nation. This is What, Why, How, and that's what the video's about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out patreon.com/whatwhyhow for early access to future videos. Okay, first, obviously neither Barack Obama or Donald Trump will ever face each other in a presidential election because of a little pesky thing called the Constitution of the United States of America. But maybe we could change history around a little bit to see what would happen if they did. So let's rewind back in time to the Obama presidency. In 2010, Republicans retook the House of Representatives and were poised to retake the White House in 2012. Obama's approval ratings entering 2012 weren't really that strong, so a very strong Republican could theoretically win the election. The Republican field had four main dudes. First was Mitt Romney, whose penchant for mom jeans didn't distract people from the fact he was a corpo stooge. I've got fat stacks and super packed. There were also three other goblins that nobody really cares about anymore. Romney, of course, won the nomination. In the general, his polls weren't really that bad, but people just liked Obama more. And I mean literally, Obama had a higher favorability rating than Romney. Also, according to a Pew poll, 43% more people thought Obama connected well with ordinary Americans than Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney made $20 million in 2010, but paid only 14% in taxes, probably less than you.
And Mitt Romney didn't really seem more competent than Obama either. The only issue people thought Mitt Romney would be better at would be reducing the federal budget deficit. Romney was pretty close to Obama when it came to improving the job situation, which was the most important issue of the election, which is a good explanation why Mitt Romney didn't lose in a landslide. Obama got 332 electoral college votes to Mitt Romney's 206, so Romney did worse than Clinton in 2016 and worse than Harris in 2024. Speaking of Donald Trump, he wasn't a ghost back in 2012. In fact, Trump seemed gearing up for a presidential run. His 2011 polling was pretty good, even higher than Mitt Romney. But he decided to stick with The Apprentice instead. But what if he didn't? What if Trump took a major gamble and pursued the Republican nomination back in 2012? Well, I do think Trump would do pretty well in the primaries, much like 2016. The 2012 debates had way fewer candidates, of course, which would be a disadvantage for Trump, but I think he would still win by slinging his usual mud toward the swamp monsters that led the GOP race back then. He'd probably attack Mitt Romney for Romneycare and call him the architect of Obamacare. He'd say stuff like, I have a Gucci store that's worth more money than Romney, and Mitt Romney's too goofy and awkward to beat Obama. He'd say that Rick Santorum let too many illegal aliens in, and so on. Those are things that he said in real life. So with the Tea Party picking up momentum, Trump might just pull off the unexpected and win the primary. Then, in the general election, Trump would attack Obama relentlessly.
Obama amnesty.
Just like real life, with special focus on Obama being a Kenyan communist. So what would happen? Well, of course, we can't know for sure because this didn't happen. But we can use the actual existing election data to get a good sense. There's a couple ways to compare the results. One is to just smash Obama's 2012 and Trump's 2016 results together to see who wins. The popular vote would be 51.1 to Obama and 46.1 to Trump. So Trump gets a smaller portion of the vote than Mitt Romney. Like Romney, Trump flips Indiana, North Carolina, and the Nebraska 2nd District. But he also flips Ohio, so overall, Trump gets 224 votes to Obama's 314. Of course, there's a problem. Obama would win 50.67% of Ohio, and Trump would win 51.69%, which is obviously mathematically impossible. Here's another issue. In 2016, there were a bunch of third parties that sapped at Trump's strength. Now, those were at least partially not just boosted by dislike of Trump, but also dislike of Hillary Clinton. So presumably, if this was 2012 we were talking about and Obama was running instead of Clinton, then third parties would not be just as popular. So how about Let's take Obama's 2012 results and Trump's 2016 results as a percentage of the two results added together. So nothing's over 100% and there's nothing below 100%.
Add that to it, and add a lot of other things to it.
If I do that, no additional states change, though of course now Ohio is 49.5 blue and 50.5 red, which adds up to 100%, but is a much closer race for Obama. Other states get pretty close too. Obama wins Iowa and Florida with about 1% of the vote. If Trump won those states, he'd be real close to victory. But maybe there's still some unfair stuff to Trump. The popular vote is now 52.6% to Obama and 47.44% to Trump. Maybe we should do Obama 2012 versus Trump 2016 as a portion of only the Trump and Clinton vote in 2016. So pretending that no third party in 2016 gained popularity because people disliked Trump, and they were all anti-Hillary people that decreased his percentage. If we did that, Trump also wins Florida, Iowa, Maine 2, and predictably Ohio, making the election 278 to 260, and Obama victory still. Obama would get 51% of the vote and Trump 49%, but the total for some states is way over 100%, including all the states Trump flipped, because of course a good portion of the electorate voted for Obama in 2012 and then Trump in 2016. So let's do another comparison here. Why don't we average the Obama, Clinton, and Romney Trump scores together? Maybe Clinton's weaknesses in 2016 weren't just a personal flaw, but also a result of something that Trump exposed. Maybe he'd be able to expose the same thing in Obama in 2012 if he ran, shrinking his score down. So we can try to dampen any 2016 weirdness that might carry over to 2012 by averaging the scores together. And if we do that, Florida goes to Trump with only 0.16% more of the vote than Obama. Trump also picks up Iowa, Maine 2, and of course Ohio. Now, is that enough to win? No. Trump gets 260 votes to Obama's 278 still. So even if we average Obama together with Clinton's weaker performance, Obama still wins. Now, it's a narrow election, of course, but not as narrow as the 2000 presidential election. Let's do one more. We'll take the average again, but the average between the real-life results of Clinton and Romney together with Obama and Trump as portions of Obama and Trump added together, so there's no third-party disadvantage for Trump. In that case, Trump does just as well as Mitt Romney in real life, but also gets Ohio and Iowa. Florida is very close, but Obama would still win. So no matter how much you combine, realistically, the real-world performance of these candidates, and of course, the only accurate measure we have is their real-world performance, it seems Obama would probably win. Trump would probably dispute the results like he did in real life, but I think we get the point now. Obama beats Trump. I don't think this should be a surprise. I think people understand that Clinton and Kamala were uniquely weak and that Obama was a pretty strong candidate.
I'm the head of state. You're like a head of cabbage.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
While I've been manipulating the math around to try to see if Trump could win somehow, I honestly think Obama would do much better against Trump than he did against Romney. Let me show you why. Around the 2016 election, Pew had a whole release which gathered a bunch of data about the candidates from 2016 and also previous elections. We can look at this chart. In 2016, more than half of Trump supporters were voting against Hillary Clinton, while 45% said they were voting for Trump. Now back in 2012, only 39% of Romney supporters were voting against Barack Obama, while 57% were voting for Romney. While Trump has a strong fan base evidently, it seems to me a major part of Trump's victory was the fact he was running against Hillary Clinton. If he wasn't running against Hillary Clinton, those people might not vote for him. For comparison, in 2016, 57% of Clinton supporters were voting for her, while in 2012, 73% of Obama supporters said they were voting for him. So not only were a huge portion of Trump supporters voting against Clinton, the people voting for Clinton weren't really enthusiastic about her either. Back in 2012, this was much smaller. Of course, Trump being so unpopular on the left side of the aisle is why a huge portion of Clinton supporters were voting against him. But it's not just that. Obama also had overall higher approval than Hillary Clinton. In 2012, 68% of Obama supporters said they strongly supported him. In 2016, only 55% of Clinton supporters said that. Likewise, 56% of Trump supporters said they strongly supported him, compared to 67% of Romney supporters. So if Obama faced Trump back in 2012, I think he would do even better against him than Romney in the general popular vote. So it would probably be somewhere around 52% versus 46%, or a bit farther apart than Biden versus Trump. Trump might narrowly win Ohio by a tiny percentage point because it seems he was uniquely crafted for the Rust Belt area, but I think Obama would have a possibility of keeping North Carolina and maybe Ohio too. In any case, Obama, from all possible ways to look at it, would probably win the 2012 election against Donald Trump. So not only were both Trump and Clinton weak candidates, but Romney was a stronger candidate than Trump despite losing to Obama. But for fun, let's see a couple different races with all this data that I've collected. First, let's pretend Romney didn't run in 2012 and instead ran in 2016. He wins the primaries and competes against Hillary Clinton in the general election. Now you might expect Romney to win in a landslide, but actually Clinton performed stronger than Romney in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, which if you're keeping track is enough to win the election. That's what the numbers say. Anything besides that is conjecture. But what if in an imaginary world Romney ran against Trump and there were no Democrats to talk about? Well, if we just look at their scores for the races they ran in as a portion of the two scores together, then Romney would win. He would sweep most of the western half of the country and secure plenty of states in the east. Romney was strongest in Utah and Washington, D.C., while Trump's victories were comparably narrow. Ironically, the map looks like the 1976 presidential election. But you know what? That's enough yapping for now. Comment below what other presidential candidates you'd like to see face off, because I kinda want to make a series out of this. And also, if you liked the video, why not support the channel on patreon.com/whatwhyhow and get early access to future videos for just $1 a month, like the people on screen now. Thank you very much, and adios.